joined now by Zeynep Sanal from Ankara. She is an activist for women's rights. Zeynep, thanks so much for joining us. Do you think the various parties are actually doing enough to address women's issues in the lead up to this election?
A lot has been done towards women's issues over the past decade or so, but we're still not very satisfied with what's being done. As far as the political parties are concerned, all of the political parties have women's branches that deal with what's done in the kitchen, in the background, and we still don't feel that there is enough participation of women in the actual decision-making positions.
Now, how much more do you think women themselves could do to become a bigger part of the equation in Turkish politics?
Well, it's difficult for women. The whole scenario is designed for men. The meetings are at night and it's difficult for women to get out. There's a lot of money involved, so women often need sponsors. So it's more difficult for women to get out there, but we do see that it's increasing every day, probably because women are more prone to go after their careers now than they have ever been.
But what about the representation of women in Parliament? Give us a better idea of how this election actually compares to previous ones.
Well, of course, we do see an increase, but considering the fact that Turkey was one of the first countries to grant women the right to elect and be elected, it's still very, very low. I mean, 17% is not nearly what we want. We're after 50-50.
Okay, Zeynep Sanal, I wish you best of luck with that. Thank you so much for joining us.